Hey yogis, and welcome. Today we focus on our posterior core. In order to do that, let's start in a seated position. Make sure the spine feels pretty tall and free. Allow the breath to slow. And make the breaths complete. As you inhale, imagine the back ribs expanding. And as you exhale, the abdominal wall will draw back. Picture that's implication at the back body. It's the abdominal wall drawing closer to the spine. Again, inhale to the back ribs and all the way to the bottom of your lungs. Exhaling all the way to empty. Pelvic floor drawing up. And continue with Ujjayi breath. We'll invite a heat into our system. And then can you maintain this breath centeredness as you move onto your belly? Lie comfortably. And give your weight to the ground. And as you breathe, picture breathing into your flanks. So it's as though the low back expands and softens. As you exhale, you meet the ground more fully. Then we'll climb up onto the elbows for Sphinx position. Make the right leg a little longer and the left leg a little longer. Tuck the tail so subtly, just enough to guide the back bend into the mid-back. Allow the ribs to be pretty heavy. So there's almost a crease that happens behind your heart. Let's lift through the chest, sending it forward, lightly drawing the shoulders back and down. Breathe again to the upper chest. The chest moves forward and up. And you exhale, the ribs get heavy. Put a bend in the right knee. See if you can tuck the tail and lift the right knee off of earth. Try not to let your low back do this. It's mostly just the right side glute and even the hamstring. So you're going to lift 12 times. Go ahead, lift, lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, glute engaged, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down, extend that leg. Put a bend in your left knee. Can you lift the knee off the ground? Tuck the tail a little, squeeze the side seat, and then lift a little higher. Pulse 12. Go ahead. 11, 9, 8. Isolating the movement. And then last one, hold it for 10, 9, 8, tucking tail slightly, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it. Let's put a bend in the right knee again. This time look over your left shoulder. Gaze in the direction of your foot that you don't have to see it. We're not looking for strain. In fact, the opposite. We want to breathe into this right side neck for about 20 seconds. It's freeing up tension in that zone. So even though we'll ask a lot of our body today, we're inviting the brain into a more restful state. Back to neutral, extend the right leg, put a bend in the left knee. Okay, gaze over your right shoulder. The foot might be in your periphery now. And we breathe into the left side neck as that ropey muscle gets long and supple. Consider the muscles of spinal extension at your mid and upper back. These long and narrow extensor muscles. Another inhale. And then exhale back to neutral, re-extend the leg. Dip down a little bit, reach your arms forward. Make sure the forehead's on the ground so the neck can really rest. On an inhale, you're going to keep your feet hips distance apart. Lift your legs. Try to stay straight through the knees. On the exhale, lower the tops of the feet. Come to the tops of the feet and lift your chest. Arms reach back. Again, reach forward. Inhale, legs up. Set the legs down. Exhale, heart lifts. 2 more times. Reach forward, legs up. Inhale. Exhale, feet down, heart lifts. Last one. Reach forward, legs lift in. Sit them down, lift the heart, X. And then release completely. Rock the hips. Recover. Reach your arms forward again. Rest the neck. Now we're going to reverse the breathing. So as the chest lifts, the arms reach back. You'll inhale. And then exhale, the legs will lift. Ready for it? Inhale, arms back, heart up. Exhale, reach forward, legs lift. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, legs lift. 2 more. Inhale, heart comes up. Exhale, reach forward, legs lift. Last time. Inhale, chest comes up. Exhale, reach forward, legs lift. Release completely. Take a brief rest. And slide your hands in closer. Lift to Cobra. Can be low. Make the spine supple. We'll put a bend in the left knee. Rock over to your right. Send the shoulders back as the chest reaches high. And then back to center. Look up and over your right shoulder as the right knee bends. Heart reaches high as the shoulders draw actively back. Through center, lift. Exhale, come onto knees. Reach the arms forward, puppy shape. Let's spread the fingers and tuck the toes. Come on into downward facing dog, making some movement. Both heels heavy, though really they never, ever, ever have to touch the ground. You can send the seat over to the right, both arms long. Send the seat to the left, both arms are long. Send the seat to the back, come high onto tippy toes and tiptoe walk to the top of your mat. Long spine, look forward. Exhale, fold. Press toes down, rise up high. Exhale, release the arms. And step the feet to hips distance apart. You'll reach your arms up. Then tip over to the right side, and the right hand can slide down. Be strong through the heels so there's a lift up as well as over. Let there be some freedom and enjoyment. And back through the middle, reach up. Tip over to the left, and left hand can slide down. Connect and lift. All the way through center, reach up. And then join the feet together. Take an exhale right here, squeezing into your center, grow your power. Next inhale, spinal extension, even squeeze the seat. Gaze up. Exhale, a slow diving down. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, step or leap your way back to lower, finding total emptiness. Then inhale, heart forward, up dog or cobra, still active through the legs. Rolling over toes, find downward facing dog. Connect to breathing. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward. We'll step or pounce to the top of the mat. Long spine. Fold down. Root and rise. Arms by your sides. We don't always salute, but let's salute today. A couple more, just building heat. Reach up. Exhale, dive. Inhale, flatten. Exhale, step or leap to lower. Inhale, open-hearted. Exhale, downward dog. Rhythmic, friction-filled breath. Soften the neck. Up on toes, bend the knees, look forward, and step or leap to the top. Lengthen. Bow. Rise. Tadasana. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to flatten out. Keep the heart light as you step or leap your way back, emptying all the way. Forward and up, open the heart. Downward facing dog. Distributing the work. Elbows squeezing lightly toward each other. Come onto your toes, bend the knees. And for the last time, at least for a while, we'll pounce to the top of the mat. Long in the spine. Fold completely. And rise up high. Tadasana. Hands to the waist. Bring your feet back to hips distance apart. You're going to put a bend in the knees. Send the left knee wide and cross that ankle over the right thigh. Take your hands to your heart. Just slowly lower. We're looking to open the outer hips. Stand tall with it, lifting left knee up toward your heart. Reach high. We'll take a gentle dancer. Grab hold of your left ankle, reach forward for counterbalance. Try and make the left side glute work for this. And the slow motion to high lunge. Get established. Belly and ribs in as the heart reaches high. Right hand to your waist, left arm up and over to the right. Let's breathe some room into the left hip flexor. As you come back to center, make it peaceful warrior. Back heel down, right arm reaching up. We'll straighten the right leg, reach up high, and create triangle. You tuck the right side seat under, making that right side glute work. That might mean coming up a little higher. If you'd like to add on, wrap this left arm behind your low back. And that's enough, or you can hover the right palm too, finding heat, squeezing between the feet. Just 4 more breaths. Two more, full filling up and full emptying out. Come all the way up, reverse triangle. Exhale, soften right knees. You roll all the way down. Hands will plant on earth. Sweep the right leg behind. And dare to really lift it, using that right side glute muscle as you take your flow. Any flow that calls to you. I'm going to slide into chin stand. Linger on your heart opening. What a chance to tone the back body, open the front body. Finding downward facing dog. You might try something, pointing the sitting bones up. Keep the shoulders like pretty firm and situated as they are. But the whole mid region of your back, you can think of it as moving into a cow shape. So it's like you make your top belly and low ribs really heavy. And then just to feel the opposite of it, can you tuck into your cat shape? Tuck tail, tuck chin, round. One more time, find cow in your dog. And then make it neutral. Come onto toes, bend the knees, step or leap to the top. Lengthen. Fold. Rise. Arms at Tadasana. Take hands to your waist, step feet hips distance apart. You're gonna send the right knee wide, bend the left knee a bit, cross that ankle over, hands to the heart, and you'll slowly lower. We're doing it, of course, for balance, but also to make room in the outer seat, in the outer hips. You can always use a wall if balance is stressful. Climb on up, reach high, right knee comes up towards your chest. And then build a dancer. Grab hold of your ankle. Kick back. Feeling the right side seat work to extend your hip. And create high lunge from it. Draw the front body in quite a lot. Then keep offering the heart high. Take a left hand to your waist, right arm reaches up and over, make some room. Make your way to peaceful. So come back through center, ground the back heel, and reach left arm up. Straighten that left leg to create triangle. And try and make the left side seat work. So tuck it under your body. That might mean you're higher up than usual, and that's okay. You want to take it farther, wrap the right arm behind your low back, and that's enough, or you can reach the left arm forward for sounding breaths. Stand all the way up, reverse triangle. Keep lifting your heart. And then soften left knee. Let's circle all the way down. Hands will come frame this foot. Sweep the left leg out behind. Don't be afraid to lift it high. And then use it to take your flow. Linger on the spinal extension whenever you can. Making your way to downward facing dog. And send the seat way over to the left. If you want to turn that into side plank, here's a chance. How slowly can you step right foot to the top of your mat? Creating warrior two. Tip on back, make peaceful warrior. Wrap this left arm behind your low back. And then keep those arms as you straighten the right leg. Create triangle again. This time, let's see how far we can go down, keeping the openness of the hip, keeping some engagement in that right side seat. So you don't want it jutting out. There's a big difference in that posture. And you might be able to reach so far as your big toe, but don't force it. If you get your big toe, you want to make sure you're still lifting upward. A handful more breaths. Come all the way up, reach up. Bend your top elbow. Work the fingers toward each other as you parallel in your feet. Lift your heart. And fold forward. And sits bones actively high. And let's look forward, release the hands, fingers to earth. You're going to pivot around to frame your right foot. You're going to put a little bend in the front knee. You're going to come back up to high lunge. Again, tipping over to your right. And right hand can stay at the waist. It can wrap behind you. Or if you're feeling really pretty open today, you could even tip your fingers to the ground or to a block over on the floor. Let's make some room. Get a good inhale, and then exhale, hands come down. Let's set the back knee down, and we'll work our way toward Hanumanasana. So half Hanuman, that's straightening the right leg, flexing the foot, and folding, is a really pretty amazing and intense stretch for the hamstring muscle, especially if you're being heavy behind the knee joint. But if it's the hip flexors that you need, you can spend time seated forward like this. And if you want to work both at once, you slide the front leg out and the back leg back. Take a little time. Plant your hands. Once again, inch your way out, sweeping the right leg high behind. Dare to get really pretty high up there. And if you're high up enough, you might be able to set your elbows down. Theoretically, that top leg is already in pincha mayurasana, forearm stand, or close to it, okay? So the next step is to come high on the tippy toes. Keep a little compression, that is contact between your belly and your upper thigh on the lower leg, even if that means bending the knees, no problem. And we're going to try to hover that bottom foot. Can you bend that knee? And I don't want you to take it high. I want you to keep it in towards your chest, unless you're really super comfortable in forearm stand already. But here we are trying to straighten it out, find some float, a few breaths. If you have the balance, you can create a stag Hanuman by sliding that top leg all the way up toward a would-be scorpion. You're looking forward, maybe bending the knee. Can we straighten out before we come down? Stepping down and finding vinyasa. It's a lot on the arms, so of course take rest anytime you need to. In fact, you can all sit right on knees, and we'll sneak something else in between here. First, just let the blood collect. Come back to breathing. A few breaths. And come high up onto knees. Set yourself up in one camel. Perfect back body opening. So open through the chest, squeeze the seat. Tip back. And extend this up and toward your heart. You don't always tuck the tail, but if you do it, you might be able to feel the glutes a little better. One more full breath cycle all the way to the bottom of your lungs. And then exhale, maybe the hips can lower first. Okay. Collect yourself at neutral spine. We'll dive forward, downward facing. Send your seat way over to the right. If you'd like it to be side plank, let it be side plank. And then with control, help this left foot to the top of your mat. Make it warrior 2. Tip it toward a peaceful. Right arm could wrap behind your back. Straightening left leg, create triangle again. You can reach down low, Be sure there's a simultaneous lifting through your heart. Come all the way up. Find reverse triangle. Perhaps wrapping the right arm behind you. And we'll parallel the feet. Reach high, square hips, top elbow bends. Walk the fingers toward each other. Lift your heart. And find the fold. Let's look up a little bit. Let the fingers release. Lengthen spine. You'll pivot all the way around to frame the left foot. Back heel lifts, bend the knee. Let's stand up again for high lunge. Left hand to your waist. Reach right arm up and over. And if you're feeling like you want to go deep, get your legs really long. You can even touch the floor or a block over there. And then make it neutral. Take both hands to the ground. The back knee sets down. And we can work our Hanuman. Might bring blocks into the mix. As we straighten this left leg, flex that foot and fold. You can always make it exclusively for the hip flexors, bending the front knees and the hips forward, hang out. Or incorporate both. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, inch our way out, sending the left leg up high behind. Let it be like a standing split. Then set your elbows down. And hey, dolphin is fantastic, but if you feel like you want to experiment, you can actually hop that bottom foot in a little closer. It does help. Top leg's pretty much already up in that inversion, so you just got to be on the right tippy toes with some commitment, I'd say. Little compression really helps. And if you want to float the right knee in towards your chest, go ahead. It helps to keep it low, especially if you're just finding your balance. And if this is easy for you, you want to play with opening the back body, start to stag leg it. so that that top leg reaches toward the top of the mat. Maybe the knee bends like a scorpion. Keep guiding this behind the heart too. Don't let the low back take all of it. Can we straighten it out? Set the right foot down. Find your way through flow. We'll get a little shoulder rest next. Never settle for a sloppy vinyasa. Way better to send the knees down. And meet a downward dog. And then set the knees down. Sit all the way down. Flip the palms up. Tune in to your center. So this is just a little pocket of meditation. Okay, I'm going to continue working our way into the back body, and we'll move into restfulness very soon. We'll keep your spine as upright as it can be as you kind of hinge yourself at the hips. So tip your body forward. Spine should be pretty diagonal now. Now, you'll take your fingers to the earth, and if you've got the flexibility, you'll turn them first out and then to face you. Some of you will be able to tuck your fingers right underneath your knees. You don't have to crush your fingers, you can split them. But this is just so that we can emphasize that feeling of spinal extension. So imagine that the butt just got even freer. You're able to point the sits bones back. You could even rock side to side to literally make room there. Okay? Free the butt. Send the heart forward and up, the shoulders lightly back. Remember this feeling. Doesn't mean the belly has to spill out. It can, but you can still be drawing the abdominal wall back into the back body. Let's pay attention to the rear ribs. Notice the muscles along them. Okay, tune in to the musculature that's drawing the shoulders actively back. I'll be quiet momentarily. I just want you to really be thinking about the back body and everything involved in keeping it in extension, which is really the antithesis of most of the day. If nothing else, experience a really full breath here, all the way into the bottom of your lungs. And then release the fingers. Take the hands onto your knees. Go the opposite direction. Tuck the tail, empty out, round the back. Let's climb onto all fours. Extend the right leg behind. Keep the toes on earth as you slide them over to the left. Take a peek at the foot. I'm going to tuck that right knee right behind the left knee. Swing the feet wide and send your seat back. Only so far as feels good and gives you a nice hip opening. And if you want to take it all the way to the floor, go ahead. Keep folding. last 10 seconds or so, I just encourage you to rock your shoulders from side to side or even walk your torso left and right just to find all of the kind of flank muscles you can possibly find. Of course, it's never just the hips that get tight. It makes its way into the back, into the legs. They all feed one another. All right, roll forward again. You can uncross, find all fours. Extend the left leg behind, keep the toes on earth, sweep it over to the right, look at the foot. Tuck that knee behind the other, sweep the feet out wide, send your seat back. Halfway is enough, unless you really want to hit all the way onto the ground. And settle into the opening. Once again, last moments, you can kind of tilt left and right, even twist a little left and right. Really dig into the fibers that are kind of getting caught in the outer hips. And then wave forward again, come back onto all fours, uncross the feet. Let's send the chest forward about 10 inches. You're going to lower all the way to the belly. And take the briefest rest just to get neutral. And then we'll move into a locust with the option to turn that into a bow. So reach your arms back, come back to the beginning. So we lift the legs this time and the heart and arms all at once. Stay, 3 breaths. Consider staying even longer or bending the knees, reach for feet or ankles. Bow. If you feel comfortable rocking, you could rock. And then release, and now really take rest. We're mellow, but we're still building, everyone. Let's roll over onto the back. What happens next is really largely going to be up to you. I'm going to offer you some guidance. You can bend the knees. Make sure the belly settles, the low back settles. Those pockets of peace in between the action are really like how the body integrates. It's not hocus pocus. It's how the brain makes sense of what's happening and what's about to happen. It's how we heal. It's how we progress without injury. So, some people get bored by like quiet or still pockets, but if that's you, I encourage you to embrace it. And then do a scan of you. Here's an opportunity for another back bend, but let's not think of it as a back bend. Let's think of it as a posterior chain strengthening. So what does that look like for you today? Is that a glute bridge? Is that a full wheel? Is that another camel? Okay. Climb into where you know you can go. We got 2 of these, by the way. And then you do you. You can lower it or stand it up. Get it, some honest recovery in between, like rocking the knees. Or even remaining still. Okay. One more, take it at your pace. If you feel comfortable in wheel and maybe even felt comfortable in that scorpion earlier, I'm going to give you the chance to come down onto your elbows and see what it might feel like to kick up toward forearm stand. Okay? Don't push it. It's not worth an injury. Set yourself up. You can always decide, like, you know what, today's not my day. I have this practice. I can come back to it if I want. Or set one elbow down, followed by the other. See how you feel. Open the chest. And if it feels possible, you walk your feet in, lift one knee, and peek forward. You know, could you kick up toward forearm stand, or maybe all the way over? See how it goes. Little light hops are what start you. Okay, take any rest you need to. If you want to even out the sides, to practice on the other side as well, you can. You've had bent elbows, it's good to straighten them. And then settle it all the way. Keep the feet wide, the knees narrow. And let the low back breathe that all in. Or whatever part of you needs to incorporate it, integrate it. All right. You can do any number of things to prepare yourself for Shavasana. It said that Iyengar used to like to have a really big burst of energy and blood flow right before Shavasana, and that's pretty much what we've just done. So if you're feeling like you could be ready for Shavasana, I encourage you to just to ride that kind of vibrancy, personal inner vibrancy high. And let that take you right into a nice floating Shavasana. It's kind of like you're being held in the clouds with this slow, loving, careful float all the way back to ground. I'll wake us in a few. Find your way to fuller breath. And movement. Let's climb all the way up for seated position. So glad you're here, Yogi. Have a really great week. Stay in touch. Bye-bye.